What's poppin', world? Back at it again. Y'all tapped in with the Head of the Game podcast. Without further ado, y'all read the title. Let's get right into it. So I was just laying in my bed, man, right before my 10-hour reset is up, and it had me really thinking about, just this very, very short recent CDL journey that I've been on, and just want to give some words of advice to either people that's either coming into this industry, or maybe people that's been in this industry longer than I, and maybe they have more experience in this, but I just want to give some perspective. This is what I want to add to the conversation, right? When it comes down to actually being over the road, because being over the road is it's a rough lifestyle, right? Because you don't have home court advantage. You feel me? You're always around somewhere unfamiliar until you get familiar with it, right? And I just want to speak on distractions, right? And more so, bigger than that, keeping your mindset and your mental right when you're over this road, right? Because the last thing you want to do is compromise either your peace of mind, your sanity, and having that affect the way you drive or the way you process the road in real time. So let me expand on this, right? So we all have like relationships, friendships to some extent, right? People we connect with, unless you're just a 100%, disconnected individual, cool. But speaking in general, most people got someone they talk to, someone they over the phone with, so on and so forth. We all got somebody we love. So my point is that interacting with these people, you have to learn how to prioritize and categorize. And I know these, it sounds like I'm just using these words repetitively or redundantly, but the point is that you have to be able to compartmentalize your professional and your personal life in this profession, because your life is literally on a knife's edge driving on this road. And you have to be aware all the time, especially if you're doing 500, 600, 400 miles a day. That's a lot of driving, a lot of attention span, a lot of focus. And if you're over the phone or something going on back home and people don't want to get on your program, they're not made for this transition with you, right? Because most people get into this industry because they're trying to change their life. They're trying to get into a profession. They're trying to get into a career. They're trying to better their life. They want more out of life. You feel me? They want to get out the regular, degular, basic situation where, everybody else is at. And sometimes you got to leave home. You got to leave home for a dramatic change. You got to be able to create the space for opportunity to be able to, be able to place itself inside of your life. Because if you don't have the capacity, opportunity or just go right over you and land right on the next person that's positioning themselves to be susceptible to that kind of value, right? So if you're over the road, you're getting your experience, you're into your career, you're starting to evolve in this industry and being more conscientious about the potential you have, you can't allow anyone to get in between that, right? Now, I get it. If you got kids, you got a girl at home, you got certain personal obligations, for sure. But at the same time, those that love you, you feel me, or care about you or want the best for you, understand that if you have to make a sacrifice, they have to be willing to make that sacrifice on their end as well, which is the accessibility towards you. And that's why I say on the other end of this equation, you have to be respectful and appreciative of the people that do support you and not look at them as just anybody or anyone, especially if they get behind who you are, what you're trying to do, and how you're going about doing it. You can't be a person that's going to be dismissive towards that, because you're being unappreciative towards those that was just once in your life, and they're reallocating the way they view you or they see you or they experience you just to support you. You feel me? So it's a two-way street when it comes out of that. But speaking on this side of the equation, when you over that road, you know, it can get depressing. You feel me? You're disconnected from the world and you're reconnecting to a whole new world, which is different places, different people, different cultures, like not different cultures, but, you know, relatively different walks of life, you know, in this country, because not everybody lives the same. So, you know, I'm from Vegas, you know, I'm from where some places is 24 hours and you go to maybe a more of a rural kind of town, or maybe somewhere that's not as upbeat, or a metropolis, you feel me? Most places closing down at 10, 11 o'clock at the latest, you feel me? And that's just something you got to be mindful and conscientious towards. So with that being said, we out on this road, everything is about preparation. Because if you're unprepared, you leave yourself open for just not like the worst, but just for stuff. You make room for things to happen, right? That you're not, that you didn't include into your day. So with that being said, distractions, far as like, leave home at home and deal with home when you get back home. Don't take home on the road with you. It can't come with you. The truck is only so big. You only can take so much with you. You feel me? So just keeping that in mind, you know, because people go through depression, they go through mental health, physical health, you know, because we eating at truck stops. We not getting the best sleep. We're not sleeping in the best places. The weather's always forever changing because we'll always end up in a different place, you know, unfamiliar, and so on and so forth, right? So with that being said, I'm just sitting up there saying that you got to minimize the distractions. And I'm not saying get rid of all your connections and all your relationships. I'm just saying reallocate them to where everything kind of harmonizes and everything is somewhat seamless. And you're never going to get a perfect setup for this. And anybody's OTR, I would look at this as like a quick bag. You know, get your experience, get your money up, stack your bread up, you know, sacrifice 2, 3, 4, 5 months. You feel me? Sorry, y'all. Whatever time, whatever goal you got set for yourself, get out the game, go find something local. You know, the benchmark is usually a year of experience. You know, if you get that year's experience, 80 to 90% of CDLA trucking companies is going to open up to you, right? The other 10% might be like 2 years, or you need manual, or you need certain endorsements, so on and so forth. But if you just got a year flat, no endorsements, 80% of all occupations when it comes down to this industry are open up and be available towards you. You feel me? You just got to seize your moment. You feel me? So that's pretty much the big part of this video. You feel me? It's just, like I said, minimizing your distractions, and then keep reminding yourself of those goals you're trying to achieve, because that's going to put you in a mindset to endure. You feel me? This industry right here, mindset wise, is about enduring and sacrificing. That's time, energy, money, connections, memories. You sacrificing all this for the greater, bigger goal of repositioning yourself to where now you got leverage, right? Because if you don't have leverage, now you're subjected to the people that do have leverage, right? So when you come to the negotiating table, you're trying to better your life, but you ain't got nothing to show for, then you're subjected to what they want to give you, or what opportunities they feel like they got left for you, instead of being able to command your own price on the market, you know. And that's why, you know, like I said, just keep reinforcing that positive mindset to be able to not only set aside the distractions, but be able to endure, because the truck life already has its own world of stress. You feel me? You got to deal with weather conditions, parking, backing, traffic, pre-trip breakdowns, you know, timelines, DOT regulations, whether your clocks, and everybody that's in the CDL school or CDL, versed with the CDL world or trucker life, you feel me, already inclined to these realities. So all those things comes with its own levels of stress because you're trying to balance everything. Now, if you add the extra variable of, people trying to argue with you, people try to minimize who you are, what you doing, or what it takes to do it. You feel me? That's where it could become a problem because now all the energy and all the power you would need to persevere and push through and to prosper, you're wasting that energy on something that's not even helping you get to that transition, right? And the messed up thing is the last resort is to let someone go, right? You don't want to do that. I have a hard time doing that. So I'm not sitting up there saying, yet again, don't cut off all your connections just because you got goals. You can have goals and a social life and a family and so on and so forth. Two things could be true. Two things could, like I said, work alongside of each other. It's just about your prioritization skills. Not one thing overlap the other. And that's how you're going to minimize your distractions. That's how you're going to put yourself in the best position to succeed. And that's how you're going to sit up there and be able to extract results out of your work. You feel me? Because the last thing you want to do is question, why are you working so hard? What did you do this for? And let your moment slip away because you got outside exterior forces trying to beat you down, when all you trying to do is do something positive, do something constructive, do something that's going to move yourself to a different level. And you trying to bring those around you up with you. So with that being said, I'm going to just leave it at that. Comment, like, subscribe. Y'all got any thoughts? Leave that below. You feel me? More videos on the way. Thanks for watching. All right, I'm up out of here.